Hey, Maria back with another video. It's 8:24 p.m. It is October 12th and it is Wednesday evening and I am about to head to bed. I want to go to bed early, want to shut my brain down. I find that sometimes going to bed early just helps me deal with all of the, I hate to use the word again, but dealing with trauma. I think my mind goes into this whole thing about being stalked and then having all these people, bother me and just I like to just shut my brain down and just not think. So going to bed is a solution. But I wanted to make this video because I felt it was number one. I felt as though it was time to make a video, and I just usually like to share my thoughts with people who are also TIs, but mainly to hear myself talk out these issues that cause me so much mental anguish and like anger, and I deal with a lot of um, you know, just bewilderment and anger over this issue because I realize that it has changed my worldview in a way where, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong that this issue changed my view. It was really important for me to have this awareness. I'm just sorry that it was brought about this way because, I think in the past I was extremely a very generous person and a very not thinking. I mean, like, I've always been intuitive, but I never really thought to really tap into certain people's minds and really understand where their motives were. I was just, I don't like to read into people, not all the time, because I feel as though knowing more about people is only going to make me not like them. You know what I mean? Or, I don't want to know what they think of me. I just want things to just, I just want an even flow, like, even exchange a normal life, basically. I don't want to sit here and think about this person's my enemy, this person's trying to attack me, this person's plotting me behind my back. I don't want to think about those things. But now I do, and I just see things differently, more, I guess, realistically, understanding and seeing how important it is for me to stay on this course. Yeah, and I do see that it's important to stay on this course because, I hate to sound like a broken record, but, you know, um, I do think that this issue is something that proves a lot of points. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's more than just like a community mistake that was made or like a lesson that people could learn. It's deeper than that. It's like, it really is deeper than that. And it kind of, there's so many subjects that, or issues, uh, uh, or questions that this issue answers, like, and it really is um, mind-boggling to me, and I guess in a lot of ways I do appreciate the fact that this issue is so like how can I say this, it certainly isn't inspiring, so I'm going to say enlightening. It really opens your eyes if you are somebody who really enjoys understanding how people are, or you question whether there's certain things in life that are fair, or you doubt certain things. Like, for example, people doubt and believe that, we live in a free country, and they don't believe that, religious persecution goes on these days, but it does. Okay. People say, oh, racism is a thing of the past, but I think this pretty much shows that it isn't. And I also think that, how they treat women and how easy it is to be trafficked, and then the issue of the whole moral issue of right and wrong. And like I said, I'm never going to bash people for practicing incest if that's what they're into, okay? But like I said, if somebody doesn't believe in it, and I don't believe in it, I don't believe in it at all. And I don't believe that I would ever condone that sort of lifestyle, and I don't respect it, and it's not for me, okay? And like I said, I would not mistreat a neighbor if they were into that sort of stuff. Like I would still say hi and bye to them and everything, but I choose not to do those sort of things, okay? And but you get these people who think it's okay to forge you or try to force you into associating with people who disturb you, and it's just it's shocking, you know what I mean? But it's something that it's a lesson to be learned, and it's a very deep lesson. So I was thinking about how we behave, how people behave. Like we behave in different situations based on the different circumstances and the people that we're around generally. I think, like for myself, like I'm the same person, okay, but I'm more likely to show certain aspects of myself around certain kind of individuals. Like if I met somebody who had a lot in common with, I'm probably going to laugh a lot with that person, talk deep to that person, like just talk about conversations that most people would find boring because because those things interest me, and then this person would also have the same interest. So we could spend hours talking about things that most people wouldn't be interested in, because I feel a sense of um, kinship and there's something that we can relate to, and then yet, like for example, I might meet another woman, right? And we might become like, what I mean by friends, I'm talking about people who aren't necessarily interested in stabbing you in the back, right? But they also, uh, they're not really going to support you either, but they're just kind of indifferent, like a kind of an acquaintance, okay, that you're on friendly terms with. And they might, we might have certain things in common. Like, some people my age, they become extremely boring. They don't think it's okay to laugh. They don't think it's fun, okay, to be goofy. They think that, that they feel like every life has to be serious all the time. And then in that situation, then you're going to only talk or associate with that person for certain reasons. And you may have conversations, but they might be limited to certain conversations. You're not going to sit here and talk about, maybe something that you saw on Comedy Central or something, because they're not going to go for it. We're different people around certain other individuals, and everybody is like this, like you might, I know that when I was growing up around my ex family, my ex family knew me as a person who was always laughing and goofy and everything else. And I think that when I would display a side of myself, like if I was interested in religion or I was interested in something in history or something, those things, because they were so used to seeing me laugh all the time, that this particular side of me was not accepted. And then I was quickly like, put down or whatever, because they only knew one side of me. But yet I was displaying this other side of me to other people that I knew, like who would call me on the phone and I would talk to for hours. They were probably perps, mind you, but still, okay. That was a part of my life, to where there were certain individuals that I felt like I could relate to, where I felt like I was kind of boxed in certain other issues or certain other social circles, arrangements, groups of people, whatever. So, I like to be, I like to be around people who I could converse with, on just about any subject. And there were certain people that I remember in my past that I really did enjoy their company. Like I think I mentioned this girl before on my channel. She was a childhood friend. Her name was Amanda, and she was the one who introduced me. I would say reintroduced me, because my family was already interested or studied with Jehovah's Witnesses at one point. But she, what I liked about this relationship that I had with her is that I could sit here and talk to her about very serious things, and then it could flip around and it could be funny, and it was one of those things where I couldn't help but feel comfortable around this person because I liked her flexibility. You know what I mean? And I think in order to really enjoy a person's company, I have to be around somebody who's extremely flexible. But as I got older, I felt as though there was very little for me to talk about with my friend Amanda because we grew into different people. Like I know she was still going to the Kingdom Hall. She was still a devout Jehovah's Witness, which I respected that. But I also knew that that path was not meant for me to be on. And I knew that, as an adult, she had to make serious decisions because her religion really didn't permit the kind of friendship that she and I had. And what I mean by that kind of thing is that Jehovah's Witnesses don't really believe in hanging around what they call worldly people. Worldly people is anybody who is not a part of their religion. You know what I mean? And you could be like hi and bye type friends, like, acquaintances. But she and I had a relationship where, we would call each other, talk on the phone for hours and hours and hours and hours. And then we would go, shopping. And then we would go to the movies. And we were just like, always spending time with each other. And I understood that that was something that had to end. You know what I mean? And there were times where she would try to call me and try to get me to go back to the Kingdom Hall and everything. And it was just like, I knew that I couldn't deal with that religion as an adult. Like when I was younger, I was really interested in learning about this gift that I had. And I automatically knew that there was a higher being and that it was something in me that wanted to be close to it all the time, like night and day, and that's one of the reasons why I did think about being a nun, when I was little. But as an adult, I realized, okay, I felt satisfied with my spiritual path, and I knew that Jehovah's Witnesses, that religion wasn't right for me, so it was time to go. And at that time, as we became adults, I really felt kind of uncomfortable around Amanda. It wasn't because I didn't care about her, because I did care about her. It was just, that was going to be an impossible friendship because I know that she was going to have expectations for me that I couldn't fulfill. You know what I mean? You have to be honest with yourself, and you can't let yourself be in situations where you're just utterly miserable. And I would say, as a Jehovah's Witness, being a Jehovah's Witness, my life would be miserable. I'm very content with my spiritual views. It doesn't have to be something widely accepted. It doesn't even have to be widely known or anything. I think some people are used to traditional churches or religions, even though Jehovah's Witnesses don't consider themselves a church, but it still is a widely recognized religion that people practice. People might scoff at Jehovah's Witnesses. They may not agree with them, but they do recognize it as an established religion that's been around for a very long time. So, and I understand that, I might have beliefs that are different than other people's, right? And I don't like to shake people up or try to make people see things my way. But this is my channel, and I do know that I was persecuted for not being a part of a religious group. But anyway, I don't want to go too much into that because I think that's the one part. That's the one part that literally shakes me because, being persecuted and being attacked for something that, number one, you're supposed to have. I shouldn't even be sweating something like that in the United States of America. Like that should never even happen, but also I understand the devastating effects of it because it can cause hysteria and it could cause, obviously what it causes is it causes people to enact evil, and terrorism is basically what it does, and that's all it does, really. There's nothing positive about that sort of thing, but in spite of it all, even though I knew that I was being attacked, that I was being persecuted, I understood that, what the ultimate goal is. The ultimate goal in gang stalking is to make you like them. for certain reasons. Some people have very backward Neanderthal thinking. They think that you can bully somebody into a certain lifestyle. You can bully somebody into that. And I would question the person that would bully a person, another human being, into something, knowing that this person is utterly unhappy. They don't want to be a part of it. They hate you for putting them in this situation, and yet you would still want to go on and make somebody do something like that. You got to question, what kind of a person would do that. And I've talked about narcissism before, which I think people really should look into these certain personality types and start looking and asking yourself, do I see this trait in other people? Do I see this? And it does give you like a little bit more of a roadmap to where you can know how to be guided on this like journey or this labyrinth of life, because you don't want to run into the wrong people. And I will tell you, narcissism is far more common than we care to believe. And I think, I hate to bring it up, but this issue of the gang stalking and the persecution and the bullying and the menticide, where somebody's trying to force you into a lifestyle that you don't care about, you don't want, you don't accept it, you don't believe in it, this sort of thing. This is a great example of it. It's a wonderful example of it. And, I really do think that this is an important story, or an important issue that when you really look at it, it's very eye-opening to me. So anyway, yeah, I do miss having a friend like Amanda. I miss that. And I do miss, having those conversations for hours and hours. I was just thinking, I remember she and I would be talking on the phone, and I remember hearing her mom yelling, "Get off the phone!" And then, we would start laughing, and then we would hang up. And then, slowly but sure, within a few hours, we'd be back on the phone laughing. And then it would be my mom, "Get off the phone! I told you to get off the phone!" I think that's funny, because, back in those days, there was two phones in the house, and it was you couldn't, kids have it really good these days, in a lot of ways, because they have their own little personal cell phones. They could just go in their room, go outside, go to the garage, go in the backyard, whatever they want to, with their own private little device to talk to people. But back in my day, it was no, it was a shared thing, and everybody heard you talking, laughing, and, you're always going to annoy somebody having a good time. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, because I am getting really tired. I just wanted to come on here and do a little chit chat, relieve myself from certain thoughts, and it's always healthy to do so. I think as targeted individuals, we do have ourselves basically to rely on. We are the only people that we can trust to give our own healing. It's sad but true. It's a very corrupt world out there. Please take care of yourself and always be aware of it. But don't let yourself get to the point where, it's going to stop you from your day-to-day life. You have to get out and go get groceries. You have to go out and do your routine. And I know they're when you're gang stalked, they get pissed off because it's so sick and twisted. They don't want you to go out for a walk and stuff. And it's getting to be cool outside. And yeah, I'm going out for a walk. Fuck you if you don't like it. I get tired of being cooped up in the house and worrying about, what if they, I would have people come up to me and just say stupid shit. My son got me a bicycle. I think it was the summer of, it was just the summer before I started working where I am working now, okay? And he got me a bicycle. He got it on, I don't know, I thought it was one of those, either it was Offer Up or something like that. And that was really nice. It was unexpected. I didn't ever recall asking him for one, but he brought me a bicycle. And I was like, God, dude, thank you. And it was so cool because it was a 10-speed, and I hadn't had a 10-speed in the longest time. And I got on this bicycle, and this idiot comes up and starts talking to me, and I knew that he was talking to me because he was being coached to do so. He was asking me questions that I just felt I'm not really fucking comfortable with people asking me questions. You know what I mean? But I think they do that because they think if you're taking care of your body, you're doing it for a reason, and you're doing it because you want to, they're afraid you're going to marry somebody, or, I don't know what it is, but I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with people having any sort of say in what I do in my life. You know what I mean? And I resent that. You know what I mean? It's like I had to, and I've been in the house all summer long, and it's very sad because, there's not a whole lot to do. And the outside, going outside, talking as I'm walking, and just thinking my problems, that is so therapeutic for me. And when I had my bicycle, it was nice, because I felt like I was just so happy and free. I was going up hills and like coming down hills really fast, and it was just like it was an enjoyable thing, And I miss that bicycle. I live in an apartment, so there's really nowhere for me to steal a bicycle right now, But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and make a video and encourage people to continue their life path and be strong. You have to be strong in order to live your life, even in the United States. I mean, it's sad. It is very sad that you have to be protective and you have to stand up for your rights in the United States in 2022 to ride a goddamn bicycle. You know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous, but I don't appreciate getting stopped. I don't appreciate people coming into my life and wanting or expecting things of me as an adult. I mean, I didn't like it when I was a kid. I was never comfortable with it. But when you're living under your parents' roof, you do what your parents say because they're paying the bills and they're sheltering you. But I'm an adult, and I don't want that in my life. And it's not about rebellion. It's about people have to do things for their own forms of entertainment. You know what I mean? Anyway, I've already gone over that before. Don't want to sound like a broken record. I am very tired, so I'm going to play back this video. I don't know why I play back videos, because I can always watch them later. I do think it's a therapeutic part, but I think I keep listening to what I'm saying and thinking, man, if I had better editing skills, I would probably take that part out. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up, and I will be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Good night.